Okay, so we've just had a screening of the fantastic short film, Death Dates, and I'm delighted to be joined by Alex Mathieson.
Hello everyone, how you doing?
Hello, Alex.
Right.
Yeah, round of applause, please,
Oh.
for Alex. Wonderful.
Cool, thanks.
So, Alex, you are the writer-director. Anything else I've missed?
I'm just the mindless energy behind these things. This is like my fourth short now, okay. And so I every like 2 or 3 years I get an urge, a scratch I can't itch. Yeah. So I just go and make another short out of pure frustration that I'm not making feature films and all those things. So yeah, I love doing it. Yeah.
Yes, it's your fourth one. How did you get into filmmaking in the first place? Did you study or you?
I wasn't allowed to. My dad wouldn't let me do film school or anything like that until I finished my degree. So I did a history degree. Then I won a job on telly, live on telly, on T.
Literally won a job.
Won a job live on telly, yeah, on T4, the show.
Okay.
Became a runner there. Became librarian. Taught myself how to edit, and slowly I've worked my way up through telly and done those things. But these are completely self-funded films. I really don't know how the machine works, the film machine works, so I just save enough money, tell my family they're not having a holiday this year, and make another short film. That's basically how it seems to be going at the moment.
How are the family with that?
They are okay with it. It was, we'd had some money saved for a really amazing trip. COVID happened, and it was just sitting there, and I had an idea, and this film was dedicated to my auntie Jean, who died, and she was like the best supporter of me ever. But she hated horror movies, and I'm a massive horror movie fan. I grew up watching horror movies, and so I had to have some horror, but it's horror adjacent, as you can see. It's a romance in disguise, you know. But I think she would have liked it. I think there's a lot of me in there, so it's good.
Yeah. As you say, it's a kind of horror in disguise. It mashes up a lot of different genres. So you've got horror, sci-fi, and obviously rom-com.
A little bit. Yeah.
How did you even go about kind of combining those things? Because tone, as we always say with indie films, is very difficult on an indie budget. Tone and things like that, it's hard to control. You've got to get that balancing act just right, and I think you do. How do you
I think that's probably the one thing I would say. The film wants to be longer, in my opinion. Every time I watch it, I go, God, I just need a bit more time to settle that in or do that. But we cut so much on the day. You know, we had 3 days to shoot it, so I was really just balancing, making sure we had enough beats in each of the sections, so enough sort of surrealness at the beginning, enough of the build and the storyline to make sense that there was a connection, and then that scene in the final room we all shot in one day where it was just like, right. And we didn't, what was really great about that, we didn't do any cuts or anything. They were just like big long takes, which saved me masses of time, but I think I got better performances. Because I work in advertising, everything is chopped to death. Okay. And it's the thing I fight all the time. Like I keep going back to my safe place where I can just overcover everything. And actually, this is the one film where I've done that, trying to get that balance right, and also finding actors who would take the adventure with me. Yeah. I get a little bit. I know it's a little indulgent at the end when you see everyone on the set, but that was kind of the most valuable thing that's come out of it for me. Yeah. Just that experience I've had, and actually the friendships I've made doing these things. So because it was dedicated to someone I loved, I just thought, actually that process is really actually part of the message of the film. Make it count is the line right at the end of the film, and I wanted that to feel like that was the story that pushed on. But that's very kind that you said that. It's good.
Yeah, it's a really nice testament to all the people that helped you out in the end. Because you see a film up on the screen, you don't really realise often how many people go, help you out behind the scenes and how much work goes into it. Yeah,
it's incredible. You have an idea, and I've got a brilliant DOP, a guy called Rich Bell, who I met when I was working at MTV many moons ago, and he did his first film with me, and he's now done feature films. He's flying, he's doing amazing things. So he helped me out, but it's just without those connections and those people, these things don't get made. And I spent most of the money on that film was location and kit insurance, and I paid everybody what I could, but obviously it's a micro budget, but it's one of those things where you just get blown away by how much effort everyone else put in, and that just bowls you over. And I think that's the addictive part, when you make it, and actually those 3 days just trenched in with everybody, just ripping bits of script away, finding amazing new moments in the film you didn't even write, and all those different things.
Let's talk about the writing then. So how are you a co-writer? Right?
Yes, well, I came up with the idea. I'm cursed with many ideas, and I'm not a great writer. That's the truth of it. I struggle. It's the bit I'm most unconfident about. Okay. So I I found somebody who would look over my script and help punch it, and actually they added little bits and just brought a bit more joy to it. It's the one thing I'm always looking for is a collaborator to help me, because I've got an excellent new idea, which I'm desperate to help. But I every time I write it, I'm like, oh, you know. Yeah. But it's so nice when someone else, and I've learned this so much through my career and the things I do, is that if you have other eyes on your project, they just get better. I'm really about the collaboration. Even though I'm the only one sitting here today, it's not me. It's like, you know, 30 people, probably 20 people on the days, but the post teams that, you know, spent hours doing the little plane thing, which came out of my head, and it's like, you know, there's nothing more fun when you write a line and then suddenly you see it up on screen, you go, oh my God, that's crazy. So yeah, still get the tingles. Yeah.
How did you come up with the idea? Was it something that, you know, is it the story that hit you first, or was it maybe an image?
I think for me it was the idea of, what do you say to someone when you've got no time left? Right. And I guess, you know, as I said, it was born out of a loss. And so I wanted to say, what would I have said? You know, I love this person. And that's where it started saying, so I got this idea of, you know, what if you found the girl of your dreams on the day of your death, how shit would that be? But also just like, actually, what would you say? How would it go about, you know? And I'm always trying to put a full narrative into a short film. That's my curse. Everything has to have a beginning, middle, and end. I'm like, you know, there's a lot of really punchy shorts that are just really great setups and scenes, and I want to make a story from it. So it's like I was just working around that last idea of, you know, can I get to a second date? Does the guy get to a second date? Was the bit I really got excited about. Yeah. So yeah.
We've touched on them a couple of times. Let's talk about your cast. How did you discover them?
Well, it was great actually. And I have to, I basically, all my previous films I got a casting person to help me out. And because I work in sort of TV promos, I make the ads you see for shows and what have you. We always got the same sort of people who do short advertising stuff. And actually I found some incredible friends and some people, but I really wanted some people who did a bit more long form performance acting. So I asked loads and loads of, I went to loads of student places first, and then I went to loads of agencies, and then what happened was, it wasn't the casting directors who were helping me out, it was their assistants. It was amazing. So suddenly I got an email from the person who allowed me to have the first meeting, and go, I've got 2 people who aren't doing anything, let them read. And, you know, I just found 2 people who were willing. It's 2 things. Firstly, you need the right type of person who, you know, this is a silly story, right? I mean, they have to believe that they'll get something out of this adventure with you, and actually the right type of people to work with under 3 days of really hard conditions. But I just found 2 people who I could see together, and they instantly gave me something. And as soon as you see a read, you go, wow, you've already added things. So that's the best stuff. So I was really lucky to find them, but it was, again, from other people putting them forward. You know, I just stuck a flare up and said, is there anyone there who wants to do it? And I'd started doing some auditions, hadn't really found anyone. And then some casting assistants said, I know people who are great for this. And they were pushing people who the casting directors weren't helping me with. Right. So, yeah, it was brilliant. And Shadrach, who plays the lead, I mean, he's now like being a Versace model. He's trans his career. I keep seeing Instagram pictures of him just like rocking around Paris in Versace suits. And Sinead's, you know, full-time working actress. She's running around, and yeah, so it's great. Yeah.
Did you say it was a 3-day?
3 days.
shoot?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So we got about 110 shots done. I guess that's the one advantage I have, is that because I work in promos, I'm fast. Wow. It's not smart working, and it kills you sometimes. But it allows you to do things efficiently, because I could only afford 3 days, you know. So I had there were about 3 more pages of script that I couldn't finish. We had to just right, they're gone, they've got to go, and we had to figure out a way to stitch a B and C together and make D or whatever that is. Yeah. But yeah, you work to the time and the limitations of what you got, right?
Sure,
that's always the way.
Yeah. How many extra pages would you have? 3?
I had about 5 more pages. So I was trying to build out the romance.
How do you decide kind of what goes? Do you just look at the beats of the story?
I think so, and also just the scenes that we sat down as a team and said, what are the bits we love, you know, with the bits, you know, that we did when we did the rehearsals. The scenes we rehearsed was the final sequence, the first time when he goes, what's your favourite movie, the cheesy sort of chat-up section, and the bit when he admits, and those bits were the key cornerstones of that relationship. So you've got the ambition, you've got the sort of softening moment, and then you've got the, you know, as long as it had those 3 beats, it felt right. But, you know, some people have really liked it, others I think less so. And as it travels around the festival circuit, it's got some really interesting responses. So yeah. But I hope so.
How has it performed? Where else have you played, and where else are you planning to play it?
It had, you know, the Holy Grail is always, because I'm a bit of a Fright Fest, or I do occasional Fright Fest thing. Didn't get into Fright Fest, which was frustrating, but I got into Dead of Night, and I got into a couple of other festivals up north. This one down here, and then it always seems to win festivals abroad and non-horror festivals. So I've won a few awards for it, which is great. But they're all festivals when it's not horror as the traditional lead thing, because I think it does sit a little to the side of it, and it's been hard trying to find places where it sits. Especially there's a lot of, like, you know, gory horror festivals, and I love gore, I love those types of movies, but it doesn't sit well with those. It sort of goes, hey, I'm an outlier.
Yeah.
So
It's nice though.
yeah, it's getting there, and it's finding, you know, it has found a little bit of love here and there, which is really great. Which is why you do it, right? You want to move things on and push it on.
Yeah. Has anyone got a question for Alex at this point? Yeah, straight up there. So right in the middle there.
I can't see it all.
Right in the middle block.
Oh yeah.
I'm still had Mitch Bain doing all music. Have you used him before?
No, I'd never used him before. I had watched Walk Against the Rain, which is a film director Scott Lias had done.
I played here last year.
Oh yeah, great. And I just was listening to it, and there are similar themes in that film. You know, when you're writing a film, you go, okay, it's about two people at the end of their lives, and they're finding love through a radio. And I was like, oh God, someone's written the same movie a bit. But I really liked some of the stuff he did there, and he was really amazing, because he lives obviously up in Scotland, so it was great just doing it all virtually with him. But he's fantastic, and going from strength to strength. So I feel like I'll be a footnote in his epic adventure. Oh, brilliant!
So it's nice to see his name up.
Yeah, that's the lucky thing, you know. He sort of saw a bit of my other work and was really happy to sort of jump in and go for it, which was really great. So yeah.
Anyone else? Yep, on there in the middle.
Two questions. One, what spirit of death was you inspired by? Like, was the idea of Shrinadami, what Tulsia's death spirit were you inspired by? Like, what one were you basing it off of?
Well, do you know what? I think I have my own personal. I was raised Christian, but I'm not practicing Christian. And so I just had there was this really lovely tale my dad told me about this guy who saw death, and so he travels to the other side of the world. And then someone goes up to death and goes, why did that guy run away? And he goes, that's strange, I'm supposed to see him next week on the other side of the world, you know. And I like this idea that death will find you when he needs to find you. And he's quite a traditional sense of death, you know. He's got a pretty visual simplicity, but I kind of wanted to... I was watching a lot of Meet Joe Black, I don't know if you know that film. And I love the first scene. I mean, it's a very odd, long film, that. But the first scene when Anthony Hopkins meets death, he talks to him behind a glass mirror, and they talk. It's really flat, the emotion of death. He's very, like, matter of fact, and I really love that about that scene. It's just like you're so ambivalent to death. You're just a footnote. So I kind of liked building a small character like that, and he was played by an actor called Robert Strange. He's done some amazing stuff for Lord of the Rings and Doctor Who. He played the big monster in the first episode of the new Doctor Who series. He does monster characters and all
Is
sorts.
that his real name? Because I spotted that, and
Yeah.
I was like, that's got to be...
It can't be, right?
It's got to be a stage name, isn't it?
He lives by it, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
is every single bit lives up to it
Yeah.
as well. He's superb, yeah. But yeah, I wanted to create a character that just was surprised by the humans itself, and actually, I love that's one of my favourite lines and things. It's nice to know why humans live at all. Nice to be reminded by that. You know, that's sort of where I was at.
Also, what's that second monster that was chasing them? Like, you know, they let go that monster. So it looks similar to, like, the monster they put in, like, Panic at the Disco, Emperor's New Clothes. Like, so was that inspiration? Like, the monster looks similar, and is it meant to be like a pet to death?
Well, yeah, I guess I called it Hellhound, and the reason was I didn't want Death running after him because I just thought it would reduce his coolness. If he's like chasing him around in a cape, it would suddenly be a bit Benny Hill. So I kind of thought, okay, well, he's just got, he's got a little hench wolf demon dude that does that stuff for him. So that's how I sort of wrote it. I had a beautiful idea of it like tearing up out of the ground, and he was like summoning it out, and then the budget just went, yeah, we can't do that, so we're going to have it just pulled into frame, fine. But they were grand. We actually found some really nice graphic art of from Dante's Inferno. Someone had done this impersonations of hellhounds and all sorts of creatures, and I found some lovely references, and then, you know, a makeup artist helped me design it, but it was really just to do the chasing and the heavy lifting and the action sequences I didn't want Death to do, because I think Death needed to step out of those scenarios.
Anyone else in the audience? Put your hand up. No? Okay. Next question for me would be, is there any plan to make this a longer version? Because I think it's got legs to be a feature. I think there's enough that you can explore.
I think all of my short films are wanting to be features. It's not my next project, just because I've got something I'm really excited about at the moment, which I'm slowly sort of cracking on. So it would be I'm just hoping, you know, you do these things to hope that someone sees the potential in you and goes, help me out. I don't know how to get films funded. I've crowdfunded 2 movies and both of them broke me. It's just so hard to fulfill all the things you do from a crowdfunding movie. So the last 2 I self-funded because I just didn't want that problem, and you know, it's a hard part that I'm not great on social media. All the things that I really should be doing better of. So yeah, I'm looking for ways to, you know, hopefully someone sees some potential in me and does those things, but I will keep going myself while I do it. You know, I'm not going to stop. I'm getting on. I'm 45 tomorrow, which is a worry.
It's not that old, is it?
Yeah. I don't know.
Happy birthday for tomorrow, by the way.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yes.
But yeah, it's one of those things where I keep setting I think I was supposed to do my first feature by 39, which is I think the year Ridley Scott did his, so I'm late. So I need to keep working. But if I'm 10 years late, I'll do it. If I've got next
Michael Haneke started making films until he was about 55.
Oh, well, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. There's always
loads of filmmakers.
I know.
Don't worry.
But, you know, it's hard not to compare, isn't it? But I just want to keep making stuff, and writing shorts is what I can manage at the moment, is the honest truth of it within my job and the time I've got with my family and stuff. So I want to take that leap, but it's just technically my brain doesn't quite know how to figure all that out yet. That's the truth.
So you've got some other ideas, you said. Obviously the family are not going to go on holiday for a little while. What are those ideas?
So there's a great film playing, I think it's tomorrow, Law. That's playing. So
Apology.
I met James and I watched that film and I loved it. Definitely check it out tomorrow if it's on. It's this beautiful portmanteau horror, and I've written a really interesting short about a guy who ends up at an asylum at the end of the story. And then I bumped into a mate and he goes, I've just written this story about a guy who ends up in an asylum. And I went, ooh. So we're trying to build that as a feature, because that might be the way to do it. Bring 3-4 shorts together, create a wrapper, do something superb like that. And then I've got something else which is the most me thing I've ever written, which I'm really, you know, when you write something, you just go, oh my God, it's just like, this is everything I enjoy in one movie. So, so I'm trying a bit of that. But I'm always writing and doing stuff, so I just want to keep busy and keep going. You know, that's the joy of it. That's why I would do it.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Final question. You're on a desert island.
Yeah.
And you can watch one film for the rest of your life, horror, or we'll go sci-fi if you want. What are you going to pick?
I mean, I even tried a podcast which has this very premise. It's like Des and I did this for movies. It's called I did a really basic bitch podcast, which was 5 movie scenes to see your 5 favorite movie scenes in your life. And then, the cornerstones of my life: Superman 1, the original '78, Never-Ending Story, which I just think is a masterpiece in every single way. Alien, Evil Dead 2 made me want to watch movies and make movies. Lord of the Rings, Thin Red Line, Terrence Malick. Oh, I love that film. Nice mix of stuff. But they're the films I love. But do you know what? Things like Barbarian last year blew me away. I loved it. I love films that surprise me. I watched American Fiction last week, and that was incredible. One is not fair. But if I could have a 4-hour old VHS, you know, where you put the tape on it and you doubled it up, then maybe I could get a little selection on there. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Great stuff. Alex, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations on your film. It's a real achievement to you and all the cast and crew.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. Can we have a round of applause for Alex, please?
Thank you. And thanks to the festival as well. So I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.